Greetings to everyone out there in YouTube land. I'm Ahmed Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Let's try that again. All right. Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and now I got the mic on. Hey, how about them Lions last night? Everybody walked into that game, and I'm guessing most across the nation. As you can see in the pregame show from everybody out there on Monday Night Football, Lions were coming in short-handed. You guys know it. I know it. Everybody in that secondary, nobody knew about the no-name defense of the Detroit Lions. Who are these guys? Well, probably everybody across the nation has a little bit different opinion about the Detroit Lions. Kelvin Shepard, the secondary, and everybody in between. The Lions came out and put forth one of the most impressive defensive performances any of us may have ever seen. Nobody saw that coming in when you had Baker Mayfield, the leading candidate for the MVP. You've seen all the numbers Vegas has thrown his way, all the numbers saying he is the best quarterback, the leading guy out there. You've had people like Nick Wright over at, I think it's Fox Sports or whatever, list him as clearly the best quarterback out there. Last night, the Detroit Lions defense, despite nobody left in the secondary, even some of the backups going out with Raquel Singh missing time in the latter part of the game, the Lions defense stood to the occasion, rose up, and you know what? They shut down Mayfield. They shut down the receivers, the tight ends, and everybody in between. A number of game-defying plays were made by these guys that were on other teams' practice squads or just gainfully unemployed as recently as a week or two ago. We're going to dive into this a little bit more during the main top of the day. I don't know, but I'm assuming that Anthony from Roar Lions UK is going to join us today about halfway through the show. If you're watching this live, hey, about just say 27 minutes. Otherwise, you'll have to skip forward if you're watching it on delayed. Real quick, though, before we get into that, the 5 headlines now, everything in between. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 45 subs away from hitting 15,400. If you can assist with that, I surely would be thankful. Also, if you have a half second of time, it's free of charge, won't cost a dime. Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button, that like button. Hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last, but most certainly never least, if you are, with the holidays quickly approaching, if you're looking to have your windows cleaned, maybe your gutters cleaned out, before fall, but you don't want them freezing up and causing ice dams or something like that. Perhaps you don't want to get out there and hang up your own holiday lights, then go ahead and visit CustomShineWindowCleaning.com or call Tom and McKenzie at 248-363-1911. They've been serving Greater Oakland County in Michigan since 1997. Great people, members of the Dew Crew. Go ahead and give them a call, shoot them a text, see what they can do to help you with any of these services. All right, all that done, set out of the way. Let's get this show rocking, rolling, going, kicking off with 5 headlines out. Oh, it's going to be a graphics galore show as we go through these 5 glorious headlines now. Lions versus Bucs. Everything we know from Detroit's Week 7 win story by Jeff Risdon of Lions Wire. Def Jeff is all over this one, pointing out all the different stuff about the Lions. How big of a win is it? I know they talked about it on air last night during it, but if you didn't catch it, they did point out Gibbs' big touchdown run. He was running at like 22 miles per hour. Let that sink in how fast and explosive he is. we've all been analyzing and trying to Scooby-Doo for a while David Montgomery hasn't been getting more reps like he did last year. And I'm not going to say I don't want Dave Montgomery out there. I like him. I think it's a great 1-2 combination. But what I think we can ascertain, as Jeff Risdon points out, and you are starting to see more and more of the national media jump on board with this, is Gibbs might be the best running back in the NFL right now. Anytime he touches the ball, whether it's a rush or reception, he can make a house call. He simply is that fast, that explosive. And you know what? I know when he was drafted, everybody said, well, he's like 199 pounds. That don't matter if you can't catch him. If you can't hit him, the weight don't matter. Gibbs has been surprisingly powerful as a runner as well. I think Dave Montgomery's just in a bad situation where he's a very good running back, but Gibbs is a perhaps generational running back. Detroit Lions fans, I guess let's ask you this question. Is he the best running back we've had since Barry Sanders? And I get that is putting in some rare air. But you look at the numbers he put up yesterday, over 200 total yards, and we haven't seen anything like that in over a decade. Let's dive into some numbers real quick. I did promise you a bunch of graphics up there. Now you get to look at them. You see the numbers. See if I can make it a little bit bigger for you guys. I guess it's not a ton better, but it's a little bit better. You've seen all the different things you do. Gibbs out there, 8 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. Montgomery, he did get 13 attempts. I get some of those were late in the game when Lions were just trying to kill clock. But I think the Lions are in a tough spot. Putting Montgomery on the field, as great as he is, he's just not Gibbs at this point in their careers. Goff, not his best night out there, but not terrible at all. He was 20 out of 29 with a 91.3 rating. And then you see the receiving stats, St. Brown, 10 catches, etc. Gibbs, 3 for 82 yards, etc. I thought the big number to pay attention to here is what we did to Baker Mayfield, and we'll be definitely talking about this more during the main topic today. Going on to some other graphics for you guys. Look at the first down difference. Tampa Bay to Detroit about even. Third down conversions, fairly similar. Total net yards, Detroit a little bit more there. Offensive plays, you get it. The numbers all suggest this game was fairly close. The Lions, when he come to that total yardage from scrimmage, you know what? Can't complain about that, facing a Bucs defense that may be one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. 3 stars of the game. Let's throw them at you guys real quick. Gibbs, 218 total yards from scrimmage, plus 2 scores. How about Nick Whiteside? We talked about him a whole lot this preseason. If you guys remember, Duke, we would watch some of the preseason games. I said, man, this guy really locates the ball incredibly well. I get he's got some holes in his games. You guys notice that too. Put some thoughts in the comment sections during those games. But coming up off the practice field, not even on a team's roster a few weeks ago, to jump in there, have the big game he did, especially when Rocky Singh went down, he had to step up. And you know what? He did make it very difficult on Baker Mayfield. Far more so than probably anybody in the Bucs organization saw coming. He wasn't the only one. He was just one of the ones that did stand up, and he does give the Lions secondary something they sorely lack, some size. He is 6'1", maybe a shade taller than that. The cornerback broke up 3 passes in his first game with defensive snaps in the Lions uniform, and a lot of those were big, heated plays late in the game. Bucs trying to rally. You guys get it. He came up huge there. St. Brown, 6 catches on 10 targets, 86 yards, and the game's first touchdown. Hey, not a bad start there. Some more stuff for you. Key points. How about we got some key points for you on the show today? Defensive tackle Aleem McNeil made his presence felt in his 2025 debut with a third down pass defense in the first half to go along with 4 quarterback pressures. And those 4 quarterback pressures, you could see the explosion out of him early in the game. I thought he got a little winded as the game went on. I don't think anybody is surprised by that. It's his first game in a year. But what he gave in that first quarter, especially when Reader gets healthier and now you got more rotation in there, man, I think Aleem and this Lions defensive line could become perhaps one of the top 3 or 4 in the NFL. After Detroit's first offensive play of the second quarter, the Lions had 147 receiving yards, of which 117 came after the catch. When they were getting the ball, they were getting separation, and yes, they were getting a lot of yak. Lions went 1 for 2 in the red zone and also on 4th downs. The same play results in the miss on each. It's a miss on each, a failed connection between Goff and rookie Isaac Tesla in the red zone. And I get a lot of you wanting to take the field goal there. Again, though, we talked about it during the live cast of the game last night. in my opinion, it's hard to stop being who you are as a coach. MCDC, he's going to go for it on fourth downs. He's had some success with it. Hasn't had some success at times too, but it is who he is. The officiating is several interesting calls, including one catch by Tampa Bay's Caden Otten that was reviewed for two separate different things by the officials. Missed on the play. The results on a fourth down stop, which the officials ruled Otten was tackled shy of the line of game by Alex Anzalone. And I think anybody watching knows exactly the point they're talking about there. We can all say what we want about the Kansas City game. It's in the past. Last night, there were a couple things I know a lot of you guys watching the game didn't appreciate about the officiating, but overall, at least in my opinion, I thought they were, 50-50. They were even both ways. There are some things that you're always going to debate, but at the end of the day, I don't think there was any game-defining calls or missed calls. Aiden Hudson had a sack streak snapped at 5 games, though he did recover a fumble created by Amik Robinson after a catch. Titus Wheat, not his first sack his line. He wound up with 1.5 sacks, splitting an earlier one with Aliquid Muhammad and getting a solo one late when Wheat pretty clearly was guilty of uncalled tripping foul. I would somewhat disagree with that just because the nature of the play, I don't think he was really tripping. I think he was off balance and the legs got intertwined, although I'm guessing the NFL is going to fine him for a trip. Jack Fox averaged over 51 yards per kick in his 5 punts, including a 66-yarder. Hey, how about the hammer? Jack Campbell and Eric Hollett both led the team with 8 tackles apiece. Campbell made 2 forced tackles for losses, picked up a sack when Mayfield tripped and broke up a pass. Tampa Bay lost wide receiver Mike Evans to a concussion and shoulder injury in the same play. Nice pass defense by Raquel Singh. Reserve linebacker Zach Cunningham left the game and did not return with a hamstring injury as well. I didn't notice that, but it did get multiple different reports on it. So, all right, enough of all that. Let me move on to that and get on to the next one here. All right, there we go. Lions versus Buccaneers scores, takeaways, highlights as Detroit Lions defeat Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This was by multiple different reporters with USA Today. And sorry for that first headline, took a lot, but hey, I thought there were some good key points with it. I'm just going to kind of summarize this one since we're running a little bit behind already in the morning show. Lions came out and pulled off one of the bigger, more impressive victories in recent years. I think you've really got to scan over the MCDC era and find a better one than this one. Nobody saw the defensive performance being as great as it was last night. The Lions offense, yes, I know we are all going to talk about it for the entire bye week. It was kind of held in check at times. But my question to the Dew Crew is that more a reflection or some praise towards the Bucs defense, or is it that Detroit got in its own way? Maybe both can be true, but it would be interesting to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Goff didn't have his greatest game. The offensive line didn't have their greatest game. I thought the receivers, weren't bad, but you know what? When Goff's under constant duress, it's hard to always make the right throw. You could say Goff could have performed a little bit better, but he was, I want to say, 20 out of 29. He had one kill shot or deep shot down the field. I'm sure he wants to get back. You guys remember later in the game, he threw one deep down center field to Jameson Williams. You could see on the replay, if he leads J-Mo long, it's probably a touchdown. But it's easy for all of us to say when we're not getting hit repeatedly from the Bucs defense. And the Bucs defense, we watched it. They shut down the run. They got after the quarterback. They made it tough. All right, Detroit Lions DBs wear Brian Branch jerseys to Monday Night Football game. Quote, he kind of got done dirty. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, hey, don't worry, I got a clip for you here. There you go. Talking of pregame and postgame interviews, Detroit Lions defensive players rallied to the cause, you could say, and that is support for Brian Branch. You can check out this story, Google it, find it on your own. Dave Burkett, Detroit Free Press is the penner of this one. But what we can say is the Lions players made their feelings thought very well throughout the week about the Kansas City game. They thought they got hosed by the refs. They thought anything that could go for or in favor for Kansas City was allowed. We've talked about it all week. It's time to move on, focus on this game, but it was really nice to see all the defensive backs and some of the other defensive players show up and kind of make a quiet statement when talking to reporters both before and after the game. I know a few of them talked to NFL Network reporters even after the game when they came up to interview. We'll get to that momentarily. Barry Sanders hype of Detroit Lions Jahmyr Gibbs on a huge day in Detroit. Athlon Sports, Nick Meyer with this one. Barry, hey, he's always around. He's there, he's there, he's everywhere. Amon-Ra St. Brown had some talks. We'll get to that momentarily. But Barry Sanders, I read in ESPN today that Jahmyr Gibbs, like I show out when I come to the Ford Field. I see you, young fella. Barry had nothing but high praise to give for Gibbs, and that was a monster performance by the Lions' young running back. Hard to believe that once upon a time during draft, there were a lot of people, Dew crew members, national media, throwing nothing but shade at the Detroit Lions for trading out of the number 6 pick and then selecting at number 12 Gibbs. Remember, they also threw shade at Jack Campbell, a linebacker at number 18, saying, man, this isn't the 90s or 80s. But now, fast forward a few seasons, how do you guys all feel about these 2 picks? Seems like they're working out pretty well for the Detroit Lions, both on offense and defense. Gibbs, we talked about on air last night. I think he's basically a Jamal Charles 2.0. He's Gibbs 1.0, that is for sure. He is a threat like few other players in the NFL and really plays in an ideal offense for him. Now getting to the last of the 5 headlines now. Amon-Ra St. Brown shares eye-opening take on Lions Monday Night Football defense. NFL on clutch points. Paulo Marino with this one. I was going to try to load the video, ran out of time this morning, but it is what it is. You guys can always probably Google it and find it. But talking to NFL Network reporter after the game, Amon-Ra St. Brown reflected on Detroit Lions' dominant Monday Night Football victory with me. Quote, it was one of the best defensive performances I've been a part of, end quote. And in the wake of the Brian Branch suspension, quote, we love each other, we play for each other. You can see a lot of Lions players. They were probably somewhat talked to by the team, maybe the NFL, not to really bring up the officiating and all that stuff or the suspension. I think the NFL kind of set a quiet message to Lions players by giving fines to, who was it, Tyrus Wheat, and then, or was it Lacey? Lacey and then Alex Anzalone. Remember earlier in the week, both of them had some thoughts or opinions they shared with national media reporters about the Brian Branch suspension. What do you know? They both got some fines, and when you watch the replays of those plays at which they were fined, I was like, man, where is the penalty here? So the NFL sent a private message, I guess you could say, with that. St. Brown, clearly everybody in the defense for the Detroit Lions said, all right, you're not going to allow us to openly talk about it and debate some of the shenanigans the Kansas City Chiefs clearly received. The NFL clearly imposed. They know what we're going to do it sort of in a lighter way. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he rose to the occasion, supported his teammate, talked about, man, the performance of this defense. I think we all get it. That defensive performance was legendary. It'll be interesting to see if we have anybody commenting about how the Bucs offense and the wide receivers are going to roast this Detroit Lions defense in the comment section today. I suspect we will not see anybody in there, but one never knows. All right, all that done, set out of the way. Let's get this on over to the main topic of the day. All right, you are the judge and jury. I've given you a bunch of different stats to throw up there at you guys this morning. And yes, I'll just kind of reflect them up there. In your opinion, who is the biggest performance, the biggest winner last night? Yeah, I'll offer my thoughts here, but by all means, throw your thoughts out there. Look at the performance of Kelvin Shepherd and what he's been able to do. We saw what they had to do against Kansas City, and that was basically place just some very soft zone coverage. When you saw Patrick Mahomes dial it up and just kind of shred it over and over again, Lions made a couple plays there, but it was nothing like what we saw last night. Shepard's defense came out there, and most of you, if you didn't have a program in your hand, you had no idea who was on the field for that secondary for the Detroit Lions. When Rocky Singh left later in the game because of his hamstring injury, you probably really started feeling like, man, the Bucs are set up for a comeback here. But Whiteside and others said, not so fast. The MVP front runner was shut down, held in check. Worst performance this season. Picked off a pass on one of the craziest interceptions any of us may ever see. A jump ball tie, basically, that went the Lions' way. Hutchinson, there were questions coming into the season. You guys get it. You know it. Hey, is he going to be the same player? He's going to take a while to get back. I don't think this guy's missed a beat, thankfully. He's been in the backfield, and even though he didn't officially get a sack last night, he was a nuisance and a problem for the Bucs all night. Mayfield had to scramble from the pocket repeatedly just to try to extend plays. Lacey, Wheat, two guys that were just cut candidates from 53-man roster, cut down days from other teams, have come in, and while they haven't been game changers, they've definitely added something to this defensive line. The rotation, Bo always mentions about in the comment section, has gone up exponentially. Now you add Aleem McNeil in that first quarter, maybe you can even say the first half. He might have been one of the more unblockable objects in the NFL. He consistently put pressure up the middle and in Mayfield's face, shut down the run, everything involved. Yes, he did get worn out, I thought, as the game went on, but that shouldn't be a big surprise for a guy who hasn't played football in a year. Now he's got the bye week to try to rest, recuperate, work with training staff to regain some stamina and, firm up that knee a little bit more. And what do you guys think of that defensive front for the Lions? Talk about the linebacking core. There were a whole lot of Lions fans when Derek Barnes was re-signed thought, hey, this is a terrible move. But what do we think now that we're almost halfway through the season? Derek Barnes is one of the more versatile linebackers on this team. He can play pass rush end. He can play the weak side Sam. He does a lot of different stuff that now I think we're starting to understand why the team wanted to re-sign him. Alex Anzalone, I think we all get it. He's one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. And who knows, maybe after this season, the Lions do look to re-sign him to a 1 or 2 year extension. We'll wait and see this offseason. Then there's Jack the Hammer Campbell. And man, if you could ask for a more ideal Mike backer in the NFL, I'm not sure who it would be. He's got size. He runs downhill. He surprisingly, for a guy his size, just shy of 6'6", can flow sideline to sideline with, I think, the best of them in the NFL. And his pass defense, maybe it wasn't the greatest strength last year or the year before that, but now he is out there and passing downs more and more, and you see him making plays. Plus, he's giving be quite the nice blitz up the middle linebacker. Repeatedly last night got pressure. Now you talk about the no-name guys in the secondary, the guys that nobody else wanted. Hollett, Whiteside, amongst others, came in last night, and they kind of put down the Bucs receiving core. I get they're a little shorthanded. They did have two of their starters back. One of them, Mike Evans. Hopefully he's okay, but that was a pretty gruesome hit for him, apparently, because you could see how much he was favoring that right shoulder and arm once he got up off the mat. Whatever you want to say, this defense with Shepard, they keep coming up with ways. Think about what we did to Lamar Jackson, two-time MVP of the NFL. He was under consistent pressure, couldn't find open receivers, and because of that, he took 7 sacks. Last night, Mayfield didn't get sacked 7 times. He got sacked 4 times, but consistently had to extend plays, look downfield, and I can't think of a time we've seen Baker Mayfield that inaccurate. It is a game of inches. Sometimes he missed guys by a foot. Sometimes it was a couple feet, but he was clearly rattled throughout the game, and I think that's a big credit to the no-name defense of the Detroit Lions. Now you've got almost 2 full weeks to rest before you play the Minnesota Vikings. How good can this team be now that they're probably going to get some people back? We already talked about Aleem the Dream McNeil. DJ Reed, is he going to be back next week? The next game, I should say. I don't know. Terry and Arnold, I would say yes. We know that Brian Branch is going to be back. We also talked about it before the suspension was announced. This might be a positive for Brian Branch. He's been playing hurt for about a month. You give him now a couple weeks off to rest that ankle, foot, whatever it may be. And you know what? He's probably going to come out pretty fired up the rest of this year. Kirby Joseph also didn't play last night. PCL that's going to hang around all season long. But now he's got almost 3 weeks to kind of rest, recuperate that knee injury, the PCL ligament. How good can this defense be when they're all back on page? And do we have any new players that we're going to have to add to the 53-man roster? If Whiteside keeps playing like he does there, he gives you some more size in the cornerback spot. We talked about in the preseason. He finds the ball in the air. That is a difficult skill for any coach, let alone player, to ascertain and add to their arsenal. He already has that and the size, the speed. I think he might be playing his way into being a permanent part of the 53-man roster. All right, let's see what you guys have to say, Duke Crew. We've got about 5 minutes or so until Anthony is due to join us. I don't know if he's going to join us. I haven't heard from him yet today. But let's get over to you guys, see what all you guys have to say, and maybe just a little bit more. I'm scrolling to the top of the screen. Give me a moment. Michael D. Greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. One pride. Oh, yeah. I'll go with that. JDC, morning all. And back at you. Attila the Hun. I think we can let DJ Reed and Tyrion Arnold heal properly. Yeah. You probably got some real confidence in these guys. And now you got another 2 weeks to really kind of develop them, get everybody on the same page from a schematic standpoint. I like the way you're thinking. JDC. Woo! That defense with an exclamation point. Silver Silver, good morning, Coach. Good morning, everyone. And back at you with an exclamation point. Until then, my dream pickup would be a veteran offensive tackle and edge, if cheap, at the deadline. Yeah, we'll see what they do. We know that Brad Holmes has been making some calls, trying to massage some deals. Now, can he get the trigger pulled? We all know Brad wants it at his price, not your price. We'll see what shakes. Art. The Bucs was wearing the sad face last night. Now let's root for the Steelers to beat the Packers next Sunday. Hey, I'm down with that. Let's see if we can get everybody in the NFC North to lose. Silver Coach, can you give me a couple of words on the 2 starting safeties? Anyone? Thanks. As far as the ones from last night or Branch and Joseph, all I can say is right now, last night's performance from Hallett and everybody else, that was impressive. I think they're going to keep going forward, and maybe the depth of this secondary, this team in general, is just shooting through the roof. Well, I know we've had some questions about some of the additions and people we haven't added, but you know what? It seems like these coaches know what they're doing. Mr. Nico, the Lions are the villains of the NFL. We may now be addressed as the Mad Kings of the NFL. One pride, I'll go with that. Lions are they're sending a message after last night. Detroit Matt, good morning. Duke Crew, 9 points. We gave up freaking 9 points. Simply amazing. I agree with that. Coach Shep and the defense deserve their flowers. They played better than the starters. And I'm still stunned, proud of the boys. 100% there. Didn't we have some in the comment section yesterday taking some shots at this Lions secondary? We'll see if they show up today. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. What a last night. Played the best, beat the best. Woo! Go Lions, 100%. Yes, indeed. Let's see, Attila, Branch and Joseph, or the fill-ins? That's a good question with a question mark. Lauren, good morning, Coach, and the world-famous Duke Crew. Woo! Victory Tuesday. Enjoy it all, 100%. You're going to enjoy this one for nearly 2 full weeks. Attila, left at least a dozen points on the field, but you do that against good teams. Yeah, sometimes the other team just makes some plays, too. A good point on that, Attila. All right, did I hear that right? Question mark. Troy Aikman said this was the best D he has ever seen. You know, he's been a supporter of the Detroit Lions and MCDC, Shepard, etc. He was very complimentary, I felt, last night. Lauren, Nick Whiteside, that guy had a heck of a game. So proud of the UFL guys on the Lions roster. Yeah, Lions do have a few. It's sad that they're leaving Detroit, but you know what? You can still sign those players. John, good morning, Coach. And the team is much better coached on sidelines, MCDC, using timeouts, Shep making adjustments on the fly. To your point, John, we were talking about during the live cast last night. A lot of people are like, man, MCDC is not going to win that challenge. I know we talked about it and said, yes, he probably won't. But instead of a 30 to 40 second timeout, you're probably getting a couple minutes for that Detroit Lions defense to kind of catch their breath and maybe make some adjustments. So maybe from that standpoint, he was doing it versus just trying to actually win a challenge. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Shep has to be the one of the best up-and-coming defensive coordinators in the league right now. That was impressive. I would agree with that. That was incredibly impressive. And you know what? He's probably going to get more and more recognition throughout the year about all the people that need to look for a new head coach. I don't know if he'll get hired this year, but probably if he keeps this up for a season or two, Lions going to have another guy that everybody wants. Server, love Gibbs, but Lions need to get a little bit more of David Montgomery and his 230 pounds, and he can catch. David Montgomery, important for balancing this team. Get him involved. Don't care if you play him fullback. All right. 5 fingers ready. I'm not even sure who was playing for us last night on defense, and yet they got it done. That's the beauty of it, right? Cynthia, good morning, all. Exclamation point. What a game. Hats off to Brad Holmes and the players he picks. No name defense. Wear the next matchup and get it done. Woo! Go Lions with an exclamation point. Yes, and I know they talked about it last night in the show on Monday Night Football, but look at all the 2nd through 5th round picks the Lions have hit on. That's where a team really goes to, the level that we're at. Winning on your 1st and 2nd round picks. I mean, let's be fair. Even some of the bad Lions general managers of the last couple decades have been able to do that. It's the other picks they typically miss on. And I think that's what separates a whole lot of NFL teams. Quentin, great sanitation Duke Crew gives the top back in the NFL right now. There'll be a lot of interesting conversations about that coming up throughout the season. John MCDC used the challenge to get an extra long timeout to rest the defense. Yeah, I thought that was very brilliant as well. Kurt Steele, the hitman himself. What up, though, Duke Crew? What's up, Man of Steel? How you doing, Professor? Bill Ball, good morning, Coach, and Duke Crew! Exclamation point. So proud of the Lions' defensive backfield. Incredible job. Kelvin Shepard is making a real name for himself. And what a force that D-line is when healthy. And you know what? We'll see if he keep developing. Ahmed Hassani, we get it. He's going to be a rookie. He's going to need some help, but he will be another piece to add, another layer to that defense. All right, this should give Brad Holmes some flexibility going into the trade deadline. I concur. So small, long, good point on that, John. We were gassed, and that review gave us a lot of time to recover. Yes, they did. Plus, maybe make some rotations. The Bucs, you guys saw, they were going no huddle. He couldn't get any new bodies out there, especially that front seven. I think at one point I was talking about that defensive line for the Lions were gassed. MCDC saw an opportunity to use an extra long timeout like you guys suggest. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Shep Flex defense is outstanding. Exclamation point. Woo! I concur. Pierce, the Legion of Whom is back. I like that one with exclamation point. Kurt Steele, who saw that coming from the Lions secondary? Not me. Probably not a lot of people, my friend. Tori, wait, what's that sound I hear? Question mark. It ain't Timmy. No, Timmy, I haven't seen him in the chat yet. I don't think we will. Pierce, Kurt Steele, for not me for sure. Yeah, Henry Mark, Professor Steele, what a game. I am impressed. I think we're all a little impressed this morning for sure there, Henry. Silver Sir, Tori Apple, laughing. Steve, Aleem looked very impressive in the first quarter, got tired after that. Yeah, and we probably all understand he's going to need some time to get all of his energy back. See, Kurt Steele, Henry Moore, those guys played hard. Yes, they did. Henry Moore, Tori, you're a trip. Good morning. I'll take that. Pierce, I don't think Reed is eligible to come back until Washington at the earliest. We'll find out when he does return for sure. Art, Kurt Steele, I don't think the Bucs saw that coming either. Yeah, probably not. Not at all. Cynthia, our Lions players, coaching staff, and organization made everyone take notice. They just jumped up a notch. Exclamation point. I concur. Kurt Steele, Art, those guys played fast and loose. Love it. Yeah, they had nothing to lose, man. And you know what? They didn't lose anything. Anyway, I love to see the coaches getting fired up on the sidelines. Yeah, this year, especially with Shup, man, you see the adrenaline. You see the Mountain Dew pouring out of his veins, man. He's fun to watch. Let's see, Pierce, Steve Rogers is going to take Mac a few weeks to get into game shape. Yeah, I would agree with that fully. Troy Maber, good morning, Coach Dan and the Mighty Duke Crew. How about them Lions? Woo! With an exclamation point. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says, defense wins the big one. It did last night, for sure. Southwest, hey, haven't seen you in a hot second, my friend. Great sanitation, Duke Crew. Woo! All this Arnold talk, everybody that played last night is better than him. Sorry, face facts. Soon as Baker got into trouble, he would have been able to toss it up for Arnold for a PI. Maybe accurate. I don't know. Kurt Steele, they smacked Baker around. They didn't get after him, did they? Just gritty and salutations, everyone jumping on the Lions for not doing more. How about we stop to consider the Bucs defense is pretty good? Question mark. Just imagine how the fans are talking about our D from last night. If you're a Bucs fan, you got to think, man, how have these guys ever lost a game? Hendricks, I sure hope Nick Whiteside earned a spot on the roster. I got to imagine they're going to take an extra long look at him. Trum Reaper is laughing. Cynthia, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman noticed and were very impressed. Yeah, it was just a heck of a performance out there. Jess, you can't score against the defense with no starters in the secondary. Laughing out loud. Yeah, if you're the Bucs, you've really got to be rethinking a lot of things on offense. What happened last night with, you could say almost half your starting defense out, that was just inconceivable, right? Southwest, the defense was lights out all night against the same offense that had been smoking everybody. True story there. Pierce, I thought Whiteside was already on the 53. He was last night. Before that, he was on the practice squad. Go back a week. He wasn't even with the Lions. Drum Raver, where's little Timmy? I haven't seen him. Have you guys? Cynthia, from Henry. They jumped up a notch. They kicked the soapbox out from under them. That might be accurate. Silver Server, the DBs had no pressure to perform. Tampa Bay had their two number one wide receivers. Everybody saying the Lions would have scored 45, but Detroit got it done with the defense. What they did to the Brian Branch, the team was not going to forget. No, they rallied around that cause. Cynthia and Jocelyn, we showed them, exclamation point, we did indeed. Hendricks, I sure hope Nick Whiteside earned a spot on the team. We'll see what shakes out for sure. Cynthia, Henry Moore, well said, exclamation point. Pat, Time to give Brad some credit. Look at what we've added to the defensive line that has worked out, yet fans are still not happy. Hey, we all just want more, right? So, Jennifer, good morning, all. Exclamation point. I'm back at you. Trim Reaper, maturity isn't an age. It is a destination. Yes, indeed. Drake, good morning. Duke, how about the Lions? Hey, how about the Lions? Pierce, now some guys get back after the bye. That is correct. Charles, let's flipping go. Bring on the rest of the Vikings. We got football stuff to do. Yes, and we got 2 weeks to prepare for them. Rest up. That should be a good one for us. Robert, woo, and greetings. Same to you. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Shep gave some of these players a chance, and they took advantage of that opportunity. Exclamation point. Well said. Now it's time to heal up and get ready for Minnie. Agreed. Service Hutchinson looked really happy to have Aleem back. I bet he did, man. Those two are going to be a nice combination. Henry, anyone notice how upset Mr. Mayfield was getting on the sidelines? Yeah, he was losing his bejesus there a couple different times. Robert Baker looked a little lost. He was overthrowing everybody, really had nobody to throw to. What a defense stand. Heck of a defense. Yes, indeed. You can see he got emotionally compromised, Baker Mayfield, and that's probably what led to some of those slight overthrows. Cynthia, good morning, Professor Steele. They sure did. They had their hair on fire last night. Yes, they did. Tori, the Trim Reaper, Tori Apple scared Timmy away, or he's embarrassed to show how wrong he was. Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably more embarrassed. John, Bucs defense is very good. Look at the record, but so is their defense. Yeah, 100%. Bucs are legit. That's a big win for Lions because now if they finish the same record, they have the tiebreaker over them. Southwest, the only thing I didn't like from last night was take the easy points because Todd Bowles' defense is tough and won't be easy all game. Yeah, 100%. I get what you're saying. Yeah, the pass in the end zone to Tesla is what it is, though. Let's see, Big Eddie, Timmy. That guy won't ever show up again. That's probably accurate. We'll see, though. Maybe he will. Trim Reaper, Timmy, exclamation point, with a smiley face, and more. These grit ladies command respect, exclamation point. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Crit Steele, the bark was open for Bates last night. The bank was open for Bates last night. Yeah, 100%. Did he plan that, Professor Steele? The shank in field goal. I'm glad he made it. Pierce, Trim Reaper, TDI, we'll find out. JDC, Trim Reaper, Timoth is like a nightmare. He comes and goes. All right. Server, Trim Reaper, all I know is that Timmy is a Bears fan. Could be a correlation there. Until then, Barnes crying in the locker room speech really hit me. Yes, indeed, man. You can see all that he went through, the injury, the recovery. If you didn't see the video, guys, go and watch it later on today. Clark Griswold, what do you got? Good morning! Exclamation point. Let's see. The Bucs front is pretty good. We found a way to overcome them. Yeah, they were getting penetration, especially on the running plays, and coming weak side and getting in there. Give them a lot of credit, man. They've got some abilities up front. Trim Reaper, Broski Bear. Could be a correlation. Trim Reaper, Danport did a lot last night. Hey, how about that? He cheered them on. France, what do we do next Sunday since there is no game? I don't know. We'll have to Scooby-Doo that this week. Dennis, good morning. Dan and the Duke crew, great win. Yes, it was. Southwest, hey, Jets, glad you got Aaron Glenn. Y'all can have him. I love Shep. Shep, I think his popularity is at an all-time high. That's probably fair to say. Answer 14, greetings and salutations, Coach and Duke crew. It sure does make the week go better when these Lions kick some butt. Fans get 2 weeks to enjoy the win. Yes, they do. Dell, good morning. Great win last night. The offense hasn't reached its full potential yet, and we will be healthy after the bye. I see a great run coming. Hey, if you can rip off like 5, 6, 7 straight games in a row here, that would be impressive and put us in a real good position. Trevor Reaper, my Red Wings are on fire. Oh, yeah, I'll have to check them out. Art, how about Gibbs giving his game ball to Penne? He was selfless play for sure. Yeah, and the fact that you've got a tackle, we were talking about that during the game last night. I'm sure you guys were all talking about it. The fact that Penei Sewell can get down the field like that and block, I get having to bend down to get the little DB. That's tough for most guys that size, but man, he is athletic. Matthew, what a difference with Aleem! Exclamation point. Pressure was great. Yes, it was. Susan Scott, I'm still stunned by how the defense played last night. I think we all are. Cynthia, Amik, Alexander, Sewell, Barnes, holy whoa. I'll go with that with an exclamation point. Dell, I love Aaron Glenn, but I think we might have upgraded our defense coordinator. It is possible for sure. And no disrespect to AG, man, but man, Shep is through the roof. Sir, the Trim Reaper, yes, sir. By the way, true that I like to play Cat and Mouse with Broski and his alter egos, but honestly, I don't resent the fellow. I found funny what he does. It makes great names. Hey, I think Broski's probably got about 50,000 different accounts. He comes in here. He's been banned about 50 of them. Hey, he's really committed to what he does. Dennis Gibbs, I'll go with Gibbs. Lone Wolf, another person I haven't seen in a hot second. Great job on the Lions defense. I would have never guessed they would hold the Bucs to 9 points. Excellent defensive performance. You're not wrong there. Queen Mary, good morning, Duke Crew, and a very happy Tuesday. Them no name came out of the gates. What a win. Yes, it is. And good morning to you. Al, Power, and Will. That was the same defense, some defensive performance. Those coaches really got those guys ready to roll in the second. They did, man. Give them all the credit in the world. Whoever you want to give credit to, man, just give credit evenly because they had a heck of a performance. Cindy, good morning, Queen Mary. Remember, I couldn't imagine having that much time on my hands to troll other teams' channels. And he does. Trey, where's that guy from yesterday, Timmy? We haven't seen him as of yet. Silver Server, Mary, good morning. Queen Mary, good morning. Cynthia, Lauren, second day bossed up, and they balled out. Inspire, hope, and change lives. Woo! Hey, haven't seen a hot second. Well, hopefully having a great morning, my friend. And thanks for the woo. Kim, good morning. Duke Crew, good game. D played with heart. The offense seemed a bit off. What's with a few of the no targets for Jamin and Laporta? Why are they saving them unleashed for the next bye? I think it's just how the defense played for the Bucs. They were trying to focus on things. They did not give Goff a lot of time. And, they took, I think, 2 shots down the field to J-Mo. But because of the pressure, it just wasn't on. Sir, how about Tyrus Wheat, coach? Yeah, hey, he hadn't had a big performance up until last night. But last night, man, he cashed in all of his chips. He went after it. Big game, big moments. He made an impact on that game. Byron Lyons, what do you got? Do you think we will have an above-average defensive front by after the bye week? Great show, by the way. Hey, thanks for the kind words. I'm going to say with Aleem back and him getting into conditioning, we should have Davenport back, and I get everybody's got opinions on him. That defensive front, though, I would say they might be borderline top 10, maybe a little bit more if you want to factor in the rotations. We'll see what shakes out. Egon Shelp was steadily flexing that defense like Mr. Universe. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Coach Tiny K. Hey, Coach and Duke Crew. How about those Lions? How about them Lions? Good to see you, Coach, as always on the show. Same old soup, just reheated tardy because I had to finish watching the game because I fell asleep last night, but I'm present. Hey, welcome in and glad you got to finish the game. Dennis, there you go, laughing out loud. Steven, big win, gotta love it. Exclamation point. Better yet, by the bye week is coming up at the right time. We have got things to improve on. Should be a fun rest of the year. Agreed with that fully, my friend. Mary, Silver Server, good morning. Don Kong, Super Bowl or bust, exclamation point. Woo, I'd take that. And good morning, Don Kong. Haven't seen it in a second. Trevor Maber, practice. Hey, we don't have to do any practice the rest of the week. They got the week off. Wayne, the Lions defense was awesome. Top defense, top coordinator. I agree. Detroit Grit, that secondary in the game balled out like was the first string core. Yes, it was. Say that Rock was great too. Exclamation point. He was. Shelley Mustaf, let's see. Greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Shep is better defense coordinator than AG and not by a significant amount. Okay, I'll go with that. Mary, Coach Tanya, yes, I agree with that. Trim Reaver, I was impressed with Rock Singh as well, Cynthia. He played great last night. I get he tweaked his hamstring. Could have been too bad because they were trying to get him back in the game, working him on the bike, etc. But 2 weeks off probably helped him out a lot. Derek, Bargain Brad may be looking at these DBs and wondering why he's paying the other guys so much money. Could be accurate. Wayne, how's Tampa Tim doing? Question mark, wasn't he the troll yesterday? Open his mouth and serve foot. Oh, yeah, probably won't see him today. Let's see if he does show up, though. He did say he was a Lions fan. Kim, Lions just showed Brad Holmes and the coaching crew are geniuses. Might be accurate. Silver Server. This game is going to boost the confidence of those second-string corner defensive backs. They'll feel important and up to the task if called upon. And they will be called upon at some point, inevitably again. Steve, can we still call them the Legion of Womb now that we know the names of the ragtag secondary? Laughing out loud. That's a fair point there, Stephen. Cynthia, the Detroit Grit, very true. Exclamation point. Honestly, my gut was telling me it was going to happen. Hey, enjoy your gut then. Trim Raver, there's something about Mary. Yes, indeed. Southwest, we need this bye week. We needed it bad. GSS 67, good morning, Duke Crew, and back at you, my friend. Mary Smith, I love it when them Lions make the quarterbacks uncomfortable, and they did that repeatedly last night. Walt, good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. Woo! And good to see you. Mary, good morning, Trim. Steven, answer yes. Southwest, Gibbs is the best back in the NFL, period, and he didn't split carries. Imagine his numbers. You're not wrong. I know they talked about that last year in the offseason. But Gibbs right now, you want to know why Dave Montgomery is not getting more. I think it's just because Gibbs, he is so generational. Walt Marks, good morning, Queen Mary. GSS67, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Second day in a row, I get to be with a live show. What a win. Exclamation point. Go Lions. Woo! And back at you. Trim Raver, good morning, Mary. Sergeant Hall, man, talk about somebody we haven't seen in a second. Greetings, salutations. Wow, what a defense. Exclamation point. Silver is, victory is possible when zebras are fair and do their job. Gibbs is one for the ages. I agree with all that. Mary, good morning, Walt Marks. Brandon, good morning. And back at you. Great day. Gibbs is no by Jen Robinson. The man is fast. He is incredibly fast. Egan, I think Jamari's contract balance is unmatched. Contact balance is unmatched by any current running back. He's so hard to bring down. He is, man. I know a couple of the post-game shows, CBS, etc., talked about it. He is surprisingly powerful for a guy's his size. Leo, Goff has to do better in the playoffs, and I still want duo back sets. We'll see if we get them. And yes, let's get him to Goff to play better. Brian, what a great win, but I thought we were told we were going to get a lot of two-back sets in the backfield. No deep passes, bunch of lies. So far, it hasn't happened, to your point, Brian. So far, it has not. Walt made a live show. Woo! Well, thank you for getting up for the live show there, Walt. Silver Trim Reaper, thank goodness Rocky Al was there. Keep him there and give TA time to heal decently. Even MCDC said no timetable with TA. Get those treatments. Fellow, I wonder with Vaki back after the bye. It'd be great if we ever get to see Vaki, but when will he get on the field? That might be the bigger question. Donnie Donald, what do you got? At least Whiteside doesn't grab a hold and create a hold in penalties right and left. Yes, indeed. That is correct with that. Leo, we can use Gibbs like Marshall, but I still want Monty on the field for mismatch purposes. I'll take that. Brian, I'm not big on John Morton. Done nothing he said he was going to do. Correct with that. Let's see, Mary. Walt, you made it because you heard the roar of the Lions talk live and them Detroits. Yes, the Lions are roaring all over Detroit right now. Ziggy and friends, good morning, Captain Dan and the Dew Crew All-Stars. What a great win for the Lions last night. The place was rocking. Yeah, you could tell even watching it on TV how loud and representing Ford Field was. Ziggy and friends, Aleem McNeil, the Dream, had a big night in place last night. Glad to have him back. I think we're all glad to have him back for sure. JDC, Puff, woo, Coffee, and Lions Talk Live. Good start to your day. Thomas, I'm not liking the lack of use of JMO and Knuckles. The D, exclamation point, considering it was our backups, DBs versus their backups. Wide receivers, our DBs were outstanding. They were indeed. Derek, is it me or did I just hear softer tone from the refs on the challenging call? Could be accurate. Trim River can't complain about the depth Brad Holmes has found. No, he's found quite a bit. Riley, good morning all. Exclamation point. Thanks for joining the show last night, my friend. Sarge, did Sanders have any 200-yard plus games? I think not. I think he did. Few, even just rushing. But, I'd have to pull up the stats, Sarge. I don't know offhand. Silver Server, Mary Smith, you are becoming so popular. You got to say hi to everyone. We are putting you to work. Yes, we are. Thomas, Big Mac was a big difference just in pressures alone. I concur. He made a big difference in hurried throws. There you go. Jack, morning, Duke Crew. Woo! Good to see you. And thanks again for last night, man. GSS, now get healthy, stay healthy. Exclamation point. This team has depth, and we are going to get to the big one. Let's make it all the way to the Super Bowl and win it. Detroit Grit. Sarge, yes, Barry did. I think he had a career. He had like 5 200-plus yard games. That could be. I don't have it in front of me. JDC, tick, tick, tick. We're ticking away. Mary, Silver Service. So I really appreciate the love. So here's all my Grit brothers and Queen. Good morning. Back at you all. Silver Surfer, Dre Day Gibbs is better than Bajan Robinson. Yeah, although Bajan is really good and those 20 extra pounds. Yeah, they're different, but doesn't mean they're not both good. See you, friends. Jack the Hammer was great last night. He is performing very well this year. Thomas, big win. Exclamation, don't care. Not kicking the field goal, but put up 10-0. Ignorant, bad decision. Fair enough. Steven, I was reading that Evans broke his collarbone. I hope not for him, man. But he's had some injuries over his career. Detroit Grit. Also remember, Barry didn't have the O-line like we have now. That could be, yeah, for sure. David Barry had 237 yards versus the Buccaneers in 1994. Walt, hit the thumbs up button, like button for Dan the Duke Crew. Woo! Hit all the buttons if you could. Ian, Steve, I saw that too. Hope he's okay. Me too. Ziggy and friends, the Lions did what they needed last night to win the game. Yes, indeed. Michael, Lions banged up defense keeps Bucs score in single digits. It's a true testament to the players and coaching staff of the team. I would agree with that fully. Trey Mayfield looked like Rat hurt his pec muscle towards the end of the game. Let's hope he's okay. David Berry had 4 200-plus yard rushing games in his career. There you go. Dre Day. Silver, it's just preference to me. I prefer a bigger back so he can break tackles. Poor Gibby needs to head-to-head with a linebacker, falls backwards, but Bijan runs through them and happy with Gibbs. Yeah, I get it, man, but the other thing I know people pointed out, you still have to catch Gibbs, though. That's the other part when he gets in the open space. Cynthia, huge pressure on Goff. That's not a Johnny Morton issue, in your opinion. Okay. Theodore Woodard Jr., greetings, salutations, Duke Crew and Coach Dan. First time making the live show. Kelvin Shepard, exclamation point. What a find. Woo! Hey, they got themselves a winner there. All right, there's 10 minutes left. I'm going to try to power through since I'm about 45 minutes behind in the Duke Crew comment section. Get people who haven't been on as much. JMO Lion King. Tampa State lives by the run blitz, and it can really be tough. But when it misses Gibbs' run, no one is back, and good luck catching Gibbs. Yeah, you get him in open space. Nobody's catching him. I think we all agree. Sarge surprised Detroit grit and did not know that exclamation point. Money bags, what do you got? They got to find a way to get it to J-Mo and Laporta more. I'll go with that. Trim Reaper, Brian Branch makes me want to slap my grandma. Ooh, let's go there. Version of the mean. The defense was impressive. The secondary stepped up. The Legion of whom? Yes, indeed. Silver, Dre Day. That's why I want more D, Monty, and Gibbs fresh. It's a tremendous 1-2 punch. I agree with that fully. Trim Reaper, Southwest is laughing. Dre Day, the Sun God had a great half. Tampa's defense adjusted well, but not good enough to win. You spot on with that. Vince E, happy Victory Tuesday on fire. Brian, no, J-Mo catch is absolutely ridiculous. We're not using him or Tesla. Very good. Let's see. The other people haven't been on as much here. Thomas, as far as Sonic and Campbell, I was ecstatic when we drafted them both. Exclamation point. A ton of our fans were upset. I was in heaven. Yeah, I get it, man. But now I'm guessing everybody's on the same page and loving having them. Hey, what's this? From Ziggy and Friends. Lions, one pride. Go Lions, one pride. Hey, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for that. And just for you, let's give you a shout out too. How about a 1, 2, and a 3? All right, Cynthia, Dre Day True. Let's take the win. Thomas, why are we not using Wingo? The only thing I can think of, Thomas, is that other people have superseded him on the depth chart. That's just a guess on my part. B-Murd 162 morning exclamation point. That game was phenomenal. I told you guys weeks ago it would bring that luck 3-0 with me in attendance. It was also loud in there. The refs, you stink chant was watching everyone pulled together. Yeah, we could watch that on the live stream, and yeah, I'm sure it was fun watching that in person. The trimmer, I heard Wingo is trade bait. Maybe. Version of the mean. To be fair, the Tampa D is no joke. I agree. But still, my only frustration was no flow to Morton's plan. No flow to Morton's plan. There you go. Tell him better to play a healthy backup than a hobbled Kirby Joseph or Terry None. Yeah, 100%. Greg, what a great game, especially by Gibbs, who's a beast, and he is on my fantasy team and killed it. Exclamation point. Congrats, by the way. Go Duke Crew, go Lions. Woo! I'll take all the above. Congrats on your fantasy team. Kim, absolutely. Shepard had that D ready to make big plays. Correct. Version to the mean. I think the O-line had a little difficulty last night. Credit Tampa. Yeah, and we talked about on the live show last night. You look at maybe like the last 4 or 5 games since you've got some power fronts. They've been exposed a little bit. They are growing and developing, though. Ziggy and friends, that was an awesome play right there. He took the ball away. He did, man, on that interception. The Trim Reaper, Whiteside was lights out. Marcus, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation points back at you. JC, greetings, salutations, coaching crew, exclamation point. Great performance by KSD last night. Rest up the team, get your bodies right, enjoy the bye, and let's repeat that performance against the Yikes. Let's do that 100%. Yeah, where is Timmy? We have not seen him, Marcus, and I don't think we will. Craig, rumors on adding a defensive end, Coach Dan. Nothing new, at least. I'm sure we'll get some stuff leading to the trade deadline, and I'll report to you as fast as I can there, Craig. Cynthia, I think Aikman and Hutch is better than before he was injured. Yeah, it might be right. He might have slimmed down and get a little faster. He does seem faster. Let's see, Johnny Gas Sports, good morning, Duke Cruz. Same to you. Let's see, Don Kong. Did you just say D-line that Brad is so scrutinized on could be one of the best in the NFL? It is possible for sure. Tuck Speedman, the Baltimore win was more impressive than this by far. We'll go with that. Trim Reaper says, what up, Johnny Gaz? Silver Surfer, Coach, I hope they keep winning. I really like the player. I wonder if injury took something away. I wonder if he's not 100%. Yeah, it is possible for sure. Moonscar, what up, all? Victory Tuesday is great. You got to enjoy the victory. Hopefully we don't have a Wally Pip situation or a secondary when people get healthy. We'll find out. Mary Smith, good morning, Carrie and Johnny Gaz. Thomas, oops, got to get to here to click. 3 times our D pass rush ran past Mayfield. What the heck was that? Hey, he's a slippery guy, isn't he? Moonscar Blade, Jack Campbell is stuck on a tackle last night. He was, how about that? Stick on a tackle. George, they need to keep Whiteside. I would agree with you, and we'll see if they do. I got to imagine they're considering it. Moonscar Blade, Evans broke a clavicle. There you go. And hopefully he has a quick recovery. Mr. Morale 313, Mike Evans broke his clavicle. There you go. J-Mo Lions King, Coach Evans has broke his collarbone. All right. Carrie, Morning Queen Mary, Cynthia, reversion agreed. Craig, Barnes and Hutch killed it last night. Exclamation point. They were the key to the Lions winning this game. Woo! Bye week can only help us get back and close to full strength. Let's hope it does. Michael, and the hooker looked better than broke a cake. Mayfield last night is hilarious. Yeah, he did not have his best performance at all. That's a credit to our defense. Max 77, please comment on both their lines better than ours until the end of the game. All right, JD, what up, though, Coach? Those Walmart replacements that the trolls called them didn't do that bad, did they? No, they didn't. They filled in exponentially well. Hey, we got a new member. Sheila, new member. Hey, thanks for being a new member of the Duke crew. Mary, do you see Big Mac bat that ball like it was tennis? Yeah, he was playing out there, and he did a heck of a performance last night. All right, you got about 3 minutes to go. Let me try to find some people who haven't been on as much. JD, hit the likes. If not for the Lions defense, going to get you. Yes, they're coming at you if you don't hit the like and subscribe buttons. Lauren, I don't think Timmy will show his face today. Probably not. Black Jared Jones, 10 toes down, all grit. I'll go with that. Flathead Frank, I have never seen the Lions try to strip and punch the ball so much. Woo! Yeah, all over last night, and you can see why the NFL probably sent a memo about it. But then again, this has been a thing in the NFL for decades, and I felt like they were just doubling down on all the KC stuff. Trim Reaper, baby, come back. We'll see if he does. Steven, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and the Duke. What a team. What a defensive effort. Exclamation point. Woo! I agree with everything you just said. Michael, I just wanted to thank you for your play-by-play and time, man. You make it enjoyable and entertaining. I do what I can, man, and hopefully you guys all enjoy it. Dennis, good morning, Mr. Steele. What up, though? We'll find out. Pat, Coach, great job last night. I gave it my best. Eddie Smith, the Lions played their best defense of the season last night. The offense needs to stop going in reverse at times. Yeah, maybe that is a credit, though, to the other team's defense. I don't know. Aaron Green, I actually lost a little respect for Baker. He was whining after every play. Yeah, you could see the Lions got in the head. Jay, what do you got? Hookadoo loves hearing his name. There you go. Silent service. It was a great performance by the defense. Hutch didn't get a sack, but he impacted the rush. No, you're not wrong there at all. Miles Meyer, pride, morning all. Back at you, Big Belly Lou. We needed that win. Let's get some more. Let's go Detroit. I like the way you're thinking. Gary, I'm how they're talking about Wheatley's trip. Yeah, move on from that. They don't get everything. It was a trip, but I think it was a combination of him losing his balance and Baker Mayfield trying to extend the play, but he'll probably get fined for it. Hey, Fish. Hi, my Detroit Lions fans from Eddie. Give me a shout out. You got a shout out. The program 11, the no-name secondary, Go Lions. They were all over the place last night. Treat Rayburn, Cam Jordan is coming soon. Well, you'll see. Ryan, what a night, what a game, what a win. Woo! I'll take all the above. Pierce, Trim Reaper, the boy, we needed him. We did need him, indeed. William, I'm still upset with the bad officiating, horrible calls for us in the beginning of the game. Then that non-tripping call on Wheat made up for it. That could be accurate. Keegan, good morning, Coach. The defense played out of this world. Yes, they did. Leo, call me Derek in regards of that dual back performance. I want more. We'll see if they can get more. Nick Baker Mayfield didn't look like an MVP last night. Thanks for our defense, but Mayfield overthrew many deep shots. He did, man. He had some opportunities and just missed on them, and I'm thankful for it. Hookadoo, morning, Duke Crew, one pride. Grit did win last night. Yes, it did. Easy E, I'm hearing Mike Evans has a broken collarbone. It does sound like that. Both people are saying that in the comment section for sure. Tuck Speedman, DBs were the biggest winners. I concur. Thomas, Better than thinking if we overuse gifts, it will get hurt. What do we do? We'll find out. Remember, have a glorious day, Henry. I concur. Thomas, let's see, Matt Gibbs. All right. Lauren, who's going to tune in for the Boss Up Ball Out? We'll find out. D Dunk, another person I haven't seen in a hot second. Shepard seems like a pretty big upgrade. I would agree with that. Chuck Google says Barry Sanders had 4 games played with 200-plus rushing yards. Yeah, I knew he probably had a few. Jeremy, another dub for the trenches. Brad is definitely cooking 100% fire, all right grip. The D-Dunk, huh? Sarge, Curtis Schultz, Star Wars Squawk Box. Did you hear how loud the chant was? The refs were not good? Question mark. Wow. Yeah, you could hear it even on TV. D-Dunk, Barry Sanders could come in sick and get 200 yards. Might be accurate. JC, most of Barry's yards were all rushing, not all purpose. Correct with that. Maybe 3, says D-Dunk, Southwest. People in the chat talking about another team's running back. I don't give a rat's bahootie about the Falcons chat. This is Gibbs' house. It is. Dolo Dynamite. Can't believe people crying about Lions getting calls. That's insane. Hey, how much things have changed in a week. Pat Gibbs hit 22 miles per hour on that run. Yes, he did. He was out of there. Dennis, he's hurt. JDC, happy trails. Go Lions victory. See you next time. Brian, Lions are 5-0 on Monday night under Dan Campbell. What a coach. He's doing a good job there. Mr. Detroit City, keep up the great work, Coach Dan. Exclamation point. Is Riley over here now full-time? Whenever he wants to hop on. I pretty much have an open door policy when it comes to content creators. You want to get on, just contact me, man. We'll get you on there. I don't really play favorites or anything else. Other than, hey, shout out to Ant-Man and Kurt Steele. They've been here forever, so they get top priority. Pat Timmy in the well, might be. Drum Reaper's laughing. Brian C., they should have cornerbacks with next man on their jersey. Ooh, wonderful to do that. James, greetings, salutations. Dan and Duke Crew, back at you. DM5, I said from the beginning and still believe we're going to be 15-2 again. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Boss up, ball out, following Lions Talk Live. We'll see you soon. Mo, what up, Duke Crew? Exclamation point, have a great day. Back at you. Ray, Lions defense was lights out. Now imagine when the offense and defense are both playing lights out. Lions team can and will go all the way. Duke family, I agree with you. We're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Southwest, we won. That's all that matters. I concur. Ray, Duke Crew, one pride, Lions Nation. You got to love the nation. Kerry, Rodrigo will be back from Minnesota. Well, that would be nice, won't it? James, happy trails. Dan and Duke Crew, back at you. All right, guys, I'm going to go and get up out of here. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Plus, hitting the thumbs up button, the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. We'll see you guys all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.
Happy trails to you until